Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching 12 Monkeys by Terry Gilliam. Gilliam holds a special place in my heart because he directed one of my most favorite films of all time, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. A lot of people have mixed feeling about the film, but I love it. The portrayal of recreational substances was way too accurate in the film. Furthermore, I felt the film had dark humor that isn't for everyone. Anyways, about 12 Monkeys, it used to play on Cinemax in the late 90s, and I used to catch a couple of glimpses here and there, but I actually never watched the film. All I know about it is there is a worldwide virus, and either Bruce Willis's or Brad Pitt's character gets sent in time to the past or the future. Knowing Gilliam's work, I expect a little surrealism and a bleak depiction of the future. To help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full reactions, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You need your own copy of the film to watch along, of course. Please consider being a patron so I can post more than 2 videos a week. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the video, like it, and if you didn't, dislike it. With all that being said, let's get started with 12 Monkeys. Gilliam, Willis, Pitt, let's go. 5 billion people will die from a deadly virus in '97. Whoa, I already love the music. Oh man, I love Terry Gilliam. Looks like the boy is witnessing someone's death at an airport. So that was a flashback or a flash forward or a dream of some sort. Wow, look at the prison. Oh, it must be because of the virus. They need to ensure that they're not infected. I like how they're not wasting time with a long, drawn-out introduction and they're just rolling the credits as we watch the film. The set design so far has been wonderful. The lighting used in the film so far hasn't been warm at all. It's been very cold and blue. It seems the virus doesn't affect animals because the cockroach and the bear are just perfectly fine. That's the logo. The 12 Monkeys logo. Yeah, he's getting disinfected. I love the set design.
You aren't going to hurt us, are you, Mr. Cole?
No, sir. We have a very advanced program, something very different.
An opportunity to reduce your sentence considerably.
And possibly play an important role in returning the human race to the surface of the earth.
Oh, they're all living underground then.
Gets agitated, starts screaming about virus.
But he took on 5 cops like he was dusted to the eyeballs.
So he's been sent to the past. Yeah, he's not in a good condition.
But I do want to help you. I need you to tell me exactly what happened tonight. Do you think you can do that, James?
We're supposed to be gathering information.
What kind of information?
I love angry Bruce Willis. I know this is a serious scene, but I just imagine John McClane.
What year is this?
What year do you think it is?
1996.
That's the future, James. This is 1990.
I'm really enjoying the sound design. You can learn so much about the environment just from the sounds of a Gilliam film. And you can see the color palette change from the future to the past. This is so colorful compared to the future.
Hey, Jones!
Very angled camera shots. Hey, it's
Jones!
Brad Pitt.
What?
Just show him around.
As I was saying, these camera angles make it very unsettling, and especially because they're in a mental institution.
I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as a loon. But that's not why you're here.
I'm really enjoying Pitt's performance.
Look, have any of you heard of the army of the 12 Monkeys?
And try to explain this whole thing from the beginning.
Right. It's 1990. 5 billion people died in 1996 and 1997.
Yeah, he sounds crazy to the doctors.
I am simply trying to gather information to help the people in the present trace the path of the virus.
Whenever Bruce Willis's character is framed, the camera is showing him from a downwards angle. It looks like the doctors are almost looking down on him.
Can I just make one telephone call, please?
Voicemail!
Oh no. He was supposed to be sent back to 1996, and that's where he's supposed to leave the voicemails, but not in 1990, where the phone is probably manned by somebody else.
She didn't know anything. This is 1990. I'm supposed to be leaving messages in 1996. It's
Exactly.
not the right number yet.
One thing I noticed from Terry Gilliam's movies is that he hates corners in his frames. So most of the time, it's rounded edges, and it's an interesting choice to say the least.
I can help you. You want me to, don't you? Get you out.
Then why don't you?
Why don't I try to escape? That's what you're gonna ask me, right? Good question. Who will contact my father? And when my father finds out I'm in this kind of place...
So surreal. And this is exactly what I'd expect from a Terry Gilliam film.
What are you talking about?
Your plan. Emancipation. Monkey. Monkey.
Whoa!
Sal! Stop!
And he has the key now.
Last chance! Last chance!
Catherine, James Cole is one of yours, right? He eloped.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere anymore. He's surrounded. I love the camera angle. So the doctor has some sort of a connection to James.
Dr. Fletcher, we have another situation.
Whoa!
And he was fully sedated.
He was fully sedated.
Oh. He must be time traveling again. We're back to the dream again. Whoa! It's Pitt's character. Yeah, he's back in the future. Wow. The directional sound in this scene is amazing. I can hear it on my left and right ear, switching in my left and right ear.
I'm not even here. Maybe I'm just in your head.
Yeah, that's messing with him.
Sent me to the wrong year. It was 1990.
Exactly.
They forced me to take drugs.
Forced you? Why would someone force you to take drugs?
Because they thought he was crazy.
I did what you wanted. I got a specimen, a spider. I didn't have any place to put it, so I ate it.
Did you see any of these people? Here? You saw that man?
Maybe in the mental institution.
Do you want another chance?
Okay, this time around we're actually seeing how he gets sent to the past.
No mistakes this time.
We're sending you to the third quarter of 1996, right on the money.
This is definitely not 1996. It looks like gas mask. I'm guessing it's World War I.
Jose! Jose! Go!
And now he's back in 1996.
Who during an assault was wounded by shrapnel in the hospital.
It's Jose.
He claimed that he had come from the future.
Surely there's very real and very convincing data that the planet cannot survive the excesses of the human race. Is the cry of the true lunatic?
He seems a little too interested in her work. Dr. Rayleigh was speaking very seriously about Jose, whereas the other people at the talk just dismissed it, so that has me interested.
Get in the car!
It has to be James.
Here, take my keys!
Not the car!
Where are we going?
Philadelphia.
James Cole. You escaped from the locker room 6 years ago. Why do you want to go to Philadelphia?
I checked out the Baltimore information. That's where they are the ones who did it. It's 12 monkeys.
What a fantastic song.
It's just like I told you. Me and my husband, we went ahead and, I don't know, she never showed. That is totally unlike her.
We're back to that dream again. It has to be very significant to the story because this is the 4th time we're seeing it. Holy crap, she's tied up!
You were my dream just now. Yeah, it's different.
Oh, what's the dream about?
She's trying to keep a strong face and not show that she's scared.
It wasn't me.
Okay, he did untie her and now they're back on their way to Philly.
You won't think I'm crazy when people start dying next month. Wait, stop here, stop the car, stop, right here!
Now's her chance to get out of there. Does she?
Come on!
Do you?
Oh, this is...
Hey! Hey! Do anything crazy, or I'll hurt somebody.
I said you can't hide from them.
Oh, it's the guy.
They can find you anywhere, anytime. It's in the tooth. And I fooled them, old buddy.
Damn.
Jay, we shouldn't be here.
They actually converted an old auditorium.
We shouldn't be here.
Hey! Don't kill me, don't kill me! Stick around, bitch!
He does have a history of violence.
This is it.
Right.
I'm looking for the army of the 12 monkeys.
Please, I'm a psychiatrist. Just do whatever he tells you to do, okay?
I told you guys that fuckhead going to get us into something
Shut up!
like this.
Tell me more about Jeffrey.
He wanted to do guerrilla actions in order to educate the public.
You're not going to save the world, okay? You're delusional. What is the matter with your leg? Shot!
He brings it up now, almost a couple of days later. He has to kind of trust her on some level because she had many opportunities to escape, but she didn't take them. That isn't a modern bullet.
No, James. So good.
Now is not the time.
James?
I'm sorry.
What are you doing? Let go of me!
What is he doing?
Never seen him before in my life.
I'm here about some monkeys.
You know this man? Of course I know this man, Arnold Pettibone.
I love his performance in this film.
I just want access to the pure virus.
Virus?
Yes, for the future.
But then you said to me, wouldn't it be great if there was a germ or a virus that would wipe out all of mankind? Like the animals from the trees? That
No,
was
you're
so
just trying to
funny,
confuse
man.
me
So
now.
funny.
Oh
Belongs
no.
to the dogs and cats.
Goins is still crazy. Jeffrey Goins.
That it was my idea about the virus.
You've created something in your mind.
I wasn't very convinced in the beginning, but he's really getting into his character. Gilliam. Oh, he disappeared.
Abruptly when playmates confessed that
Oh, they found him. Just like James said. It was a prank. They were hiding in a barn.
You connected the army of the 12 monkeys with a world-famous virologist and his son.
Others will take over now.
We'll be back on the surface in a matter of months.
This is it, James. What you've been working for.
People don't exist. You're not real.
That old Bob.
It's that homeless guy again.
You have to be smart to get what you want. Breathe the air to be with her.
It says the bullet you claim you removed from Mr. Cole's thigh is in fact an antique.
It was World War I.
I just want to do my part to get us back on top, in charge of the planet.
They're going to send him back.
Good Lord, if my son was ever involved in something like that.
Oh no. And I recognize him too.
It's the kidnapped woman. No one knows what the guy who tied us up.
Walkie's ready. Battery's charged.
I know you.
Two of my people, too.
Listen to me. Have you seen James Cole, the man who
They're
said...
watching you.
Cole is back. So he came back to the past to turn himself in. Because he believes whatever he's seeing of the future are delusions.
Then they took everything about me and put it into a computer where they created this model of my mind. Yes!
That's crazy. And his performance is fantastic.
She knows everything I'm ever going to do before I know it myself. How's that?
It's a funny switch in dynamic because the first half of the movie we saw Cole dragging Catherine and it's the other way around.
How did you know that was just a hoax?
I didn't know.
You said he was hiding in the barn.
I think I maybe saw a TV show about that when I was a kid. You were right. I am mentally ill. You said that I had delusions, that I created this world. You said you could explain everything.
I can't!
Cole is not being looked down anymore because even when Catherine is standing, both their camera angles are on head level. So they're on an equal plane.
It was the wrong number in 1990. It should be the right number now.
Really?
This is how you find us. I want them to find me.
I'm gonna try that number, okay?
Why doesn't he go with her and just stand next to her?
The future is just a carpet cleaning company. Better watch out for the army of the 12 monkeys.
Oh no! He heard this recording in the future.
I didn't recognize your voice.
Who's this? Oh, it's Chris Plummer. It's the father.
I also know all about your warped little plan.
You're completely insane.
Damn, he's taking this personally.
No, I'm not.
If you can't change anything because it's already happened, you may as well smell the flowers.
What's the plan of the 12 monkeys exactly? Because we haven't seen them having access to the virus yet. I just realized what happened. They released all the zoo animals. And that is where the bear is from in the beginning of the film.
Bunch of weirdos let all the animals out of the zoo. And they locked up this big shot scientist in one of the cages. Scientist's own kid, one of the ones did it.
They didn't release the virus? Wow.
That's what they were up to, freeing
And
animals.
the music immediately changes. So the 12 monkeys weren't responsible for the virus. We're at the airport. Oh my god, I think the climax of the film is coming.
Know this place.
Airports all look the same.
This is my dream.
And she's wearing the red dress.
Judy Simmons, I have reservations for Key West.
And we see the briefcase.
You're picking this up. Forget about the army of the 12 monkeys. They didn't do it. It was a mistake. Someone else did it. I've done my job. I did what you wanted.
Shasta, Karachi, Bangkok, Peking. This is some trip you're taking, sir. Is this all in one week?
The exact same list. he mentioned earlier in the film.
Cole, it's me.
Jose?
Yeah, right. Jose. How did you find me? The phone call, man. You can still be a hero if you just cooperate.
I don't think he wants to be involved in this anymore, and that's the kid from his dream. He just wants to go away with Catherine. Wait, I thought that was Goins, but it's not. It's the guy who works for the senior Goins.
It's Dr. Goins' assistant. He's an apocalypse nut. I saw him a minute ago. I think he's involved.
The virus is in the briefcase.
Would you mind letting me have a look at the contents of your bag, please? Open it. Have an odor. That's not necessary.
The virus has already spread officially, and he infected himself, I'm sure.
There he is! That man is carrying a deadly virus! Stop him!
Oh no, it's the dream. It's happening. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. He just witnessed himself die. And that's why it stuck with him for the rest of his life. And he's getting away! Well, the virus is already spread. Wow, what a twist. A lot of films wouldn't have done this and would have just shown the twist, like Seven. I like movies like this where the director just drops hints over and over again. And every time it makes more sense as the narrative flows. I feel really bad for Bruce Willis's character. And I think Catherine recognizes, or at least has an intuition about who that child might be.
I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Jones is my name.
I think I recognize that woman. Was she one of the scientists from the panel in the future? Oh no. Knowing Gilliam, I have a feeling that the virus will spread, the future will happen, and they couldn't stop it. And a fantastic end to the film. I really enjoyed that movie, guys. Okay, so I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was distinctly a Terry Gilliam film. From the dolly shots, the unusual angles, to the almost psychedelic tone of the film is unique to Gilliam. The plot of the film was very engaging. The idea of a virus killing most of the world's population is not a new one, since we've seen it used in many different films. But what sets this film apart is the extreme dystopia that the viewer is presented with. Let's start with the directing. As I said before, Gilliam is a whimsical, abstract filmmaker. The atmosphere he creates within the film is spectacular. The future, like RoboCop or Blade Runner, is very dystopian and bleak. This setup was the perfect backdrop for Gilliam's story. The way Gilliam brings out the performance of his actors, especially Brad Pitt's character, was wonderful to see. Even Bruce Willis, who I consider an above average actor, was great. Overall, Gilliam was excellent in his direction as usual. We'll talk about the plot a little later, but now let's talk about the cinematography and editing. Both the cinematography and the editing were on point. The editing was not fast-paced at all during the runtime, except in the mental institution scenes. The editor used slower cuts in conjunction with the director. The story flowed pretty smoothly, and I have nothing major to complain about it. The cinematographer and the director worked really well together in the film. I believe it was Gilliam's choice of cinematography with very tight shots and off angles, but I have to commend the cinematographer for his work, especially for the differences in color grading for the different time periods. The music in this film was fantastic too, both the soundtrack and the songs used in the film. I like how the director used Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World" to convey sadness and nostalgia in Bruce Willis's character. I also love the main theme of the film, and I'm surely going to get my hands on it very soon. Gilliam also used sound effects to great success, especially when Brad Pitt's character was ranting in the mental institution. The writing was very good as well overall. Gilliam spent the first 30 minutes of the film just to introduce his characters and to give them time to grow on us. I believe that worked because by the end of the film, I was quite emotionally invested into the characters of Bruce Willis and Madeleine Stowe. The idea of showing the audience the end of the film was very common back in the 90s, and is fairly common today too. Some examples I can think of from the top of my head might be The Usual Suspects and Pulp Fiction. Both came out around the same time as this film. Although 12 Monkeys might not be as good as those films, it uses the technique quite well because every time we saw the dream, we got a little more exposition. At the end, the story came full circle beautifully. Let's talk about the set design, props, and lack of practical effects. This is where Gilliam shines as a filmmaker. His sets and props create a unique world unlike any other. It really draws you into the film. The future prisons and the chamber where Cole was interrogated were so well made. So were the sets in the mental institution. There were little or no practical effects in the film, but I don't think it was necessary in a film like this. Bruce Willis as James Cole was pretty good. He played a schizophrenic patient fairly convincingly, and by the end of the film, I was sold on his performance. However, I have to say, in the earlier parts of the film, his acting was a little hit and miss for me, reminding me a little of John McClane. So yeah, Madeline Stowe portrayed Dr. Catherine Rayleigh. She was really good in her role, and I really enjoyed her character arc from being a skeptic at the beginning to being a believer by the second act. The dynamic between her and Willis's character really worked, and they played off each other really well. Brad Pitt played Jeffrey Goins. Although he wasn't as important to the main plot as we were led to believe, his performance was nuanced and rich with little details which might have been omitted if the role was played by a lesser actor. From the moment he was on screen, I was convinced he was crazy, and I liked how many people in the film, including his father, calling him out on being delusional. It turned out his character was just an extreme environmentalist, and the 12 Monkeys had nothing to do with the virus. Let's move on to the supporting cast. Chris Plummer played the senior Dr. Goins. He had a very small but pivotal role in the film because it was his lab that created the virus, and I believe it was his character who instructed Dr. Peters to go spread the virus. Christopher Plummer was considered one of the best actors of his generation, and I wish I got to see a little more of him in this film. David Morse played Dr. Peters, the unassuming antagonist of the film. I know the actor since I've seen him in several films, but I never remember his name. He also played a crazy person, but I wouldn't consider him crazy in the classical sense. His character was obsessed with Dr. Rayleigh's book and with the idea that overpopulation would kill the planet. And he gets away with it at the end. If I had to think of any criticism of the film, it had to be the first act. Although it was necessary for character development, I feel like it could have been achieved a little faster if more exposition was conveyed through visuals and not dialogue. But apart from that, overall, this film was a fantastic watch with a bold ending because nothing changed at the end. The virus was out and they didn't have a proper location on it by the end. I would highly recommend this film for lovers of sci-fi and dystopian futures. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. I'll see you in the next one.